Today we dive into one of the most debated questions of our age: transgender rights and homosexuality in Islam. Is Islam against people whose sexual orientation is different, or does it provide them with dignity and recognition as human beings? Does religion suppress their natural identity, or does it give a deeper framework for human desires? Let's explore this through logic, philosophy, science, and the lens of the Quran. In modern discourse, sexuality and gender are often presented as identity. If someone feels attracted to the same sex or identifies as a gender different from their biological sex, society tells them, this is who you are. But Islam frames the human being differently, not only as a bundle of desires but as a soul entrusted with responsibility. The question is, should our desires define us, or should our higher self guide us? Science has studied sexual orientation for decades. Some researchers argue that biology, genetics, prenatal hormones, and even brain structures play a role in shaping attraction. Others argue that environment and psychology contribute too. But here's the key: science admits it does not fully know. There is no single gay gene or transgender gene. What we see instead is a complex interaction between nature and nurture. So even if orientation has a natural component, science also recognizes that humans are not slaves to biology. Think about aggression, addiction, jealousy. They too may have biological roots. But we don't say, because it's natural, it's moral. Philosophy has always asked, what defines human freedom? If freedom means doing whatever desire commands, then animals are the freest beings. But if freedom means rising above instinct to pursue truth, justice, and meaning, then morality must sometimes say no to desire. From Plato to Al-Farabi, from Kant to Iqbal, thinkers argued that civilization is built not by indulgence but by restraint guided by wisdom. So the real question is not, do I feel this way? But what is the purpose of my feelings and where do they lead me? The Quran speaks directly about same-sex acts in the story of the people of Lot. It condemns not identity, but action. Islam never says a person is sinful simply because of what they feel. Temptation is not sin, action is. The Prophet taught that every human being has struggles, some with anger, some with greed, some with lust. Struggle itself is part of the test of life. When it comes to transgender identity, Islam recognizes intersex individuals, kuntha, with compassion, and classical jurists gave them rights in inheritance, marriage, and dignity. But when it comes to deliberately altering one's God-given gender without necessity, scholars considered it problematic, because it distorts the natural fitrah. The Quran says, do not alter the creation of Allah, 4:119. Yet Islam also says, we have honored the children of Adam, 1770. Honor and compassion remain central. Islam does not deny that people may feel different orientations, but it also teaches that desires cannot become the sole foundation of identity. If someone feels same-sex attraction, Islam does not command hatred or humiliation of them. It commands patience, self-control, and seeking fulfillment in permissible ways. For those who cannot marry, Islam encourages fasting, prayer, and spiritual struggle. The Prophet promised, whoever controls their desires for Allah, Allah will replace it with sweetness in the heart. So Islam draws a line. Dignity to all human beings, yes. Freedom to act on every desire, no. Because Islam sees human life as higher than instincts. It is about the soul's journey, not just the body's cravings. In the end, the question of transgender and homosexual desires is not simply about rights or restrictions. It is about what it means to be human. Science shows us complexity, philosophy shows us purpose, and Islam shows us guidance. Islam does not erase people who feel different. It calls them, like all of us, to rise above desire and walk the path of meaning, patience, and truth. The real dignity of the human being lies not in obeying desire, but in mastering it. And that is where Islam's wisdom shines, not as oppression but as liberation. If this discussion challenged your perspective, subscribe to Wisdom Unveiled for more unapologetic explorations of truth. Let's continue questioning, reflecting, and uncovering the deeper meaning of life.